Hi, I'm Kimberly Calderbank for Community Cultures. Today we're at Mos Family Restaurant talking to our friends from Oakville Meals on Wheels. Mos has been helping them to provide meals to those that live independently at home for more than 46 years. Oakville Meals on Wheels has been feeding community members here in Oakville. We've moved into the dining area here at Mos Restaurant on Spears Road in Oakville, and I'm with the owner of the restaurant, Mo. Thank you for joining us today, Mo. This is such a lovely vibe. There's a community already in here, and not only do you have a great vibe in the restaurant, but you're doing great things for the community as well by working with Oakville Meals on Wheels. What does that partnership look like for you?
It's very great, because I love this Oakville community, especially seniors. They support me so much. So I like to give them back much as I can.
You're really giving. It's interesting. I've been watching. You're walking around. You're chatting with the restaurateurs that are here having their lunch. You're really involved with everybody. And then beyond that, you and your staff are giving back meals to Oakville Meals on Wheels. How many meals a week are you doing?
Oh, we started back in the days like 60. Right now we are up to like 115 and 120. So it's worked very well for the Meals on Wheel, and we have a ours too.
I'm always interested to know why people are inspired to be a part of their community. We know it just feels good and it's so wonderful to give back, but what ultimately inspired you to involve yourself?
I don't know. I love to give them back. I like whatever I get it from them, I like to give them back. Which is, I like to mention, like every year we do free Thanksgiving dinner too here.
Wow.
And this past 2 years it was stopped, but we think we will do on this year too.
So you've been here for 14 years in this location. How long have you been working with the Oakville Meals on Wheels partnership?
I think about 5-6 years right now, yeah.
And if you were to talk to other local restaurateur friends or other restaurants and say, here's why you should get involved and why you should also give back, what would you say to others?
I told them, like, see, my clientele is most like seniors.
Yeah.
I love them. And other thing, like when we do the seniors, we help them out. Their kids, they give us back too. They might repeat customers too. So we will involve with the.
There's this sort of full circle moment when you're giving in community and when you're engaging with folks, and you can definitely feel that in the restaurant here. What is your hope for Mos Restaurant and community giving as you move forward?
Oh, I feel great all the time when we done all those meals and all those things. Everybody feel great, especially my staff.
Yeah.
They work like a team. They do like every single job, like all together, like work together. So they feel great, and especially my staff, you know, they're enjoying to do this too, you know.
So on top of that, it's yourself, but all of your staff, I assume you've inspired them to want to involve themselves, and it sort of spirals, if you will. Once one person starts giving, it kind of has a trickle-down effect. Do you see that in your staff as well?
Nobody say no. They love to do it, yeah.
Nice.
They love to do it.
And so, just to wrap up, Mo, what do you think the best part about being involved in a local community organization like this is?
Be honest, I feel good. I feel good, and I feel good.
Yeah.
I really feel good.
Jaclyn is one of the staff members here at Oakville Meals on Wheels. Jaclyn, tell us a little bit about the role you play with the organization.
Well, I am the program and communications manager, so that encompasses a broad number of activities. We are a small staff, so we do the day-to-day work, which is making sure that the route sheets get planned out, that the clients are taken care of, and their needs are met, whether it's a dietary restriction we got to add to their file or whatnot. And then I do the media part as well, or the communications, so that would be their social media and any kind of external brand awareness that you may see on Oakville Meals on Wheels.
And how long have you been working with the organization for?
I have been with Oakville Meals on Wheels since February of 2020, 2 weeks before the start of the pandemic. So really, it's been a very interesting time for me in this role, because it has been a very interesting time overall in terms of people needing food and food security, and our need doubled through the pandemic. So we did not miss a meal through the entire 2 years that we have been dealing with COVID-19. So it was a very challenging but very interesting time to come on board at Oakville Meals on Wheels.
Yeah, that's where I was going sort of with the question, because I know things really shifted from a food security perspective, especially through the pandemic. And we saw just an increase across the board of 30% uptake in some food security programs. So what did that look like, and how were you able to sort of pivot into this new phase for Oakville Meals on Wheels?
So the biggest challenge I think we faced was the need for subsidized meals. So that doubled and at times tripled. Just people who couldn't get out either to get groceries, who live alone or who relied on family members and who just didn't have that same social connection. And even friends or people who used to go out for a coffee. All of a sudden we found that a lot more people required our service.
Yeah.
So that was the biggest challenge, and it was pretty much just making sure, with the help of Mos Restaurant, of course, that every day we could get a meal out the door to someone in Oakville who required food on any given day.
And so pre-pandemic, I mean, you've been around for 46 years, so there's
Right.
quite a history of the organization. Can you walk us through that a little bit?
Yeah, so the organization was established in 1976 by the Oakville Kiwanis, and that year they actually delivered 1,000 meals.
Wow.
We now deliver today about 2,000 meals a month, both frozen and hot meals, so there is the frozen option as well. And we have about 200 active clients on that list that we serve. And last year, 2 years ago actually, November 2020, we actually served our 1 millionth meal. So we have been serving literally millions of meals to Oakville residents over our 46-year history.
So that takes a lot of community power, a lot of volunteer power. How many volunteers are actively working with you to help get this mission done?
So our roster is actually around 80 active volunteers, but that, it can wane, or there are volunteers who are much more engaged than others, who take on multiple roles, not just drivers, not just board members. Some people have more. Some people come into the office to help out when they can. So that is a very, very important part of what we do, and actually we could not do what we do without the volunteers. They are the ones who get the meals out of the door every day, and they provide more than just a meal delivery.
Yeah.
There are so many options right now where you can get a meal delivery. You can call in Uber Eats or a DoorDash. We offer our volunteers free delivery, and they do more. They actually have a quick chat at the door. And they make sure that the clients are doing well and that they're thriving. And if they're not, they tell us, and we can inform family members. So it gives peace of mind to families and loved ones as well.
Absolutely.
That someone is checking up on people. And that was especially important during the pandemic, when social interaction was so limited or non-existent, and it was so important that that sometimes our volunteer was the only person someone spoke to in any given day.
Absolutely.
So the role of our volunteers is critical to keeping our wheels moving.
And so I always like to ask, there's just one story that usually stands out in your mind is, this is the reason I do this, and this inspires me every day to go to work. What is that story for you?
Well, the story with me, like my background, I came from a corporate background before I came to the charity background. And for me, it's so important to be part of my community. So that's really what inspires me to come out, is to know that I'm connecting with people in the community, especially people who don't have somebody to connect with. And the best stories that I go home and I tell my family about is, a crazy interaction we may have had with somebody that really made my day, or it made their day, and I made somebody laugh over the phone. That somebody who may have not, I might have been the only person that they spoke to that day. Making that connection in my community, and not only with the clients we service, but with the volunteers especially as well, because what dedication it is from them to come out, a lot of them on a weekly basis. They have regular routes to come and serve the community and to be part of this organization, and to make sure that their neighbors are getting a balanced, nutritious meal every day.
Elaine is a board member as well as a volunteer with Oakville Meals on Wheels. Elaine, how long have you been involved with the agency?
I started volunteering when I retired almost 8 years ago.
So you've moved from volunteering to being a board member as well. What has that transition looked like for you?
Well, to be clear, both are volunteering. So I'm still a driver. and I was asked to join the board after 2 or 3 years so that I could represent the volunteers on the board, which I love doing, to be honest. So it was an easy transition because, as you probably know, at Oakville Meals on Wheels, we are a working board. So yeah, it was an easy transition.
So what does volunteering and being a driver look like when you're working with Oakville Meals on Wheels?
Well, being a driver, our volunteer, I will describe to you our volunteers. So our volunteers they have a lot of compassion. They have empathy. They're reliable. They're very reliable. They're enthusiastic. We can count on them. They also, they have basic computer skills because, as you probably know, we do train them quite well, and we like to continue training them. So we do like them to have some computer skills as well. So yeah, we have the best volunteers. What can I say?
And approximately how many volunteers does the agency have?
We have approximately 70 volunteers now, not all active all the time. I think we have around 40 regular volunteers. So yeah.
And is that a position that you're always looking for people to engage from a volunteer perspective with Oakville?
Yeah. Always we are, especially during pandemic time, of course. When the pandemic occurred, we lost quite a few of our volunteers who were elderly or for other reasons. However, many did step up, and because a lot of people were working from home, so they decided to spend their lunch hour with us delivering, so which was wonderful. Some of them have stayed, but to be honest, we are looking for volunteers all the time.
And so what type of volunteer roles would there be? Is there anything beyond driving or any other ways that people could get involved in the Oakville Meals on Wheels?
So most of our volunteers, of course, are drivers. However, at the moment, we are looking for coordinators, and I'll explain to you what that is. So the volunteers all go to Mos Restaurant to pick up the meals to deliver. We are looking for coordinators who are not interested in driving, but would be willing to come in every day or 1 day a week, whenever they can, and help with organizing the meals for when the volunteers come and pick them up. Make sure that we have the right number of meals for each route. So we are looking for coordinators. Also, we're a small organization. We have only very small staff as well. They do their very best, but however, it would be nice maybe if some people are interested in office work. And there, I mean, possibilities are great.
And what type of requirements are you looking for volunteers when they want to get involved? Obviously, for a driver, you need a license, but what types of other requirements would you be looking for?
To be honest, requirements, I mean, they need to want to give back. Most of our volunteers, they want to give back. They have compassion, like I said before. So these are mostly what we look at for people. And they have to be reliable. Because we are serving a hot meal at lunchtime, so we need to count on them to be there when they say they will be. So, yeah, we do need them to be, compassionate and excited about this role as well. Because to be honest, as one of our volunteers said recently, it's a two-way blessing. It truly is. We gain as much as we give it.
I love that you say that, because one of my favorite questions to always ask is something that stands out from you from a volunteer perspective. All the years you've involved in the agency, there's got to be one story or something that you just think, this has really made it for me and this is why I keep coming back. What is that story for you?
But it's every day, to be honest. Every day that you deliver is different. I delivered today, for example. I like to give this example of a client of mine that I've known for 8 years. She's 95 years old. She lives in her house. All by herself. She doesn't really have any family left. And she can be a little difficult sometimes, but she's allowed. She's 95. And to me, when I go and see her every day and make sure she's well and deliver her meal, I always approach it like a challenge. I must make her laugh today. I have to make her laugh. Whichever way I will do that, I need to make her laugh. So this is a bit of a challenge that I do. But most of our clients are so appreciative as well. You know, they thank us. They're happy that, we know that we are making a difference. It shows. And so, yeah, it's wonderful.
I often say, you know, volunteering, it sort of feeds your soul.
It does.
You absolutely had it right when you said it's in and out. It's for both of you, right?
It is.
Can you explain that or expand that a little bit more on how it feels to be a part of this organization?
Well, you know what? The thing is, this world is going so fast these days, right? And I remember when I retired, it was important for me to be able to give back. I had the time, and so I looked around what was, you know, what would appeal to me. And feeding people has always been important to me. I mean, if you ask my family, they will tell you. But so I thought this was such a well-established organization, 46 years in Oakville, and now also community funded, so obviously they need help. Yeah. So I had no hesitation that, you know, I need to go and make sure that, you know, all the bellies are full at lunchtime, and it is a good feeling. It's a wonderful feeling. You go home and you go, okay, you know, I got a smile out. I gave them a smile today, and they smiled back, or they did not, but they're not well. So next time I do this, or, you know, so it is very gratifying.
Steve, you're a board member with Oakville Meals on Wheels. What enticed you to join the organization?
Well, Kim, I was always aware of Meals on Wheels. Growing up, I remember in our community, Meals on Wheels was very active, and this is going back a number of years right now. So when I retired and I had the opportunity to volunteer, I was aware of Meals on Wheels in Oakville, and I was aware that they did, you know, great work in the community, out providing nutritious meals and social interaction and a safety check for individuals. And I thought I had some time, and it was a great organization to join, and I have a lot of fun with it.
So let's talk mission and vision. What ultimately is the goal of Oakville Meals on Wheels?
At Oakville Meals on Wheels, our mission is through the use of volunteers to provide, enable independent living by providing access to nutritious meals. We also do provide an opportunity for social interaction, and then we ensure the physical and emotional well-being of the person receiving the meal. So it's a combination of the nutrition, the ability to socially interact. A lot of people, it's the only engagement they might get all day, and then doing the safety check, making sure that people are safe in their homes.
And why are you so passionate about this cause? What really sticks out to you as the reason why you stay involved and engaged?
I just find it's great work. I'm a volunteer driver, and every Thursday when I get a chance to go out and meet with the individuals, it feels good to chit-chat with them. It feels good to provide a meal to them. It feels good to make sure they're safe. So I just think it's a wonderful organization that provides a lot to our community. When you don't have the opportunity to get out, when you don't have your independent access, to have this type of access and interaction, I think it's just wonderful.
So the show is Community Cultures. It's all about creating these little communities and these little pockets within community. So you mentioned going to the doors and connecting with the folks that you're delivering to. I imagine it's opened your sense of community. What does that feel like?
Well, it feels good to be participating, in my mind, in your broader community. You're engaged, you're interactive with people, you're getting out, you're meeting people, people who you can help. You have the ability to go out and help these individuals. So I just think it kind of inserts you into your community and makes you feel like you're making a contribution. Right.
And so let's talk about finances or financials, and how does this all come together? How does this program ultimately work?
Well, you know what? It's really through the help of the community. So Oakville Meals on Wheels does not get government funding. So they don't have government funding that comes in each and every year. Each year we start at zero, and we have to go out and raise the funds. Now, we're fortunate enough to get different grants from different government agencies throughout the year. But it's generous donations that come in from the community. We're entirely community funded, and a significant portion of the meals that we provide are subsidized. So the community funding is really important.
So if you were giving a pitch to the community right now and saying, here's why you should get involved in Oakville Meals on Wheels, and here's how you can help, what would that be?
There's two ways that we need a lot of help. One is funding. As I said, a lot of our meals are subsidized, so and our operating funds need to be covered by the community. So we always need the broader community side financial support. And the other is awareness. I think a lot of the community believes that Meals on Wheels only serves seniors. And our vision is that, regardless of age, sex, religion, there should be equitable access to nutrition that enables you to live independently. So we'd like to get the awareness out that it's not only seniors that need our services. It could be someone having left hospital. It could be someone on Ontario disability. For whatever reason, we provide equitable access across the board, no matter the age, income, or condition of the person who requires the meal. So please get that message out, raise the awareness for our organization. We'd like to help more and more people over time. And so funding and awareness is what we really need from the community.
Michelle, let's talk about how Oakville Meals on Wheels is different from other meal organizations.
Okay, so we are fully funded by the community, and with grants and foundations like the United Way of Halton Hamilton, as well as the Oakville Community Foundation are two of our big supporters locally. So we have to raise all of our own funds. The big difference between us is our wellness check. We really pride ourselves in making sure that we have seen the client or our friend who we are delivering meals to. It could just be a quick hello. It could be you stand and you chat with them. Our volunteers are absolutely amazing, and they know who their clients are that want to have that discussion. So a lot of times we'll create the route, but they'll do it in whatever order they want to, because they know that they need to spend a little bit more time with someone on their list. And it is really impactful for the volunteers to have that as well. It gives them their sense of meaning to why they're doing what they're doing. And there's things that happen, that are out of our control, but when we get there, the volunteer may have found the client who is not very happy that day. They're sad for whatever reason. It could be multiple reasons. It could be that they've had a fall. But our volunteers really do lift their spirits, whether it's just with their hello, and we have saved lives.
Yeah.
Right?
There's like a connection point. There's a touch point really with the organization that you lack from other potential meal deliverers. And you said yourself, we've saved a life. We've really helped our community. Is there a cost or a fee to receive Oakville Meals on Wheels?
There is. It is a client-based fee. It is under $10 for the meal for the clients. And we do have a subsidy program which has been very increased steadily over the last couple of years, especially due to the pandemic, and we know that we're going to have a huge increase in people needing support with their meals just because of the cost of food right now. I believe it's gone up like 19% in the last year. So we know that we are essential and helping keep people in their homes, that they don't want to go into a retirement home or a long-term care. They want to be independent still, and if this is one thing that we can do to help.
So if there's a family member watching or somebody that thinks this could be a program for me and I should be part of Oakville Meals on Wheels, how would somebody reach out to you? How would they connect to you? What does that process look like?
Sure, it's very straightforward. We are very old school, sort of say. You can pick up the phone and call our office, and we will do the application over the phone. We can have you start it within 24 to 48 hours. It just depends on the day of the week and how quickly we can get the order in to Mo, basically.
Are there other providers that assist or other partners that you work with as well to help to keep the meals happening?
So we have, one of our partners is Acclaim Health. We deliver to their adult day programs. So they help us in ways of, they refer us clients to us. Other agencies as well in the community, like Summit House, the hospital, they all refer to us.
Dixon, you have a sweet story of how you became involved with Oakville Meals on Wheels. How did this start out for you?
Well, my late wife, Ann, was a volunteer, and she was the one that enticed me.
Okay.
So I became the driver, and she delivered all the meals.
So, as some would say, you were a little bit voluntold by your late wife, and she got you interested in the organization.
Exactly.
And since then, you've stayed on and you've continued along with the organization, and you yourself even received meals through Oakville Meals on Wheels. What was that like for you?
It was just great. I had a hip operation last summer, and in my recovery, I subscribed to the meals for in a couple, 3 or 4 months. And I can't say enough of how good they were. And on time every day.
I imagine it's nice to have somebody just come to the door and chat. Sometimes when you're home alone or you're recovering from a surgery, it's nice to just have somebody and be able to count on them. What was that like for you?
Absolutely, just wonderful to see their faces. If I wasn't home, they would be left at the door where I asked them to leave it, and it was picked up immediately for everything was just first class.
And what about the meals? What kind of meals were you receiving when you were receiving the care from Oakville Meals on Wheels?
The meals that I received, I believe, were from Mos, and I can't anything but excellent.
Okay. And from a volunteer perspective, what are you doing? What does your volunteer role look like as you're working with Oakville Meals on Wheels?
How does it look like?
Yeah, what do you do?
Well, I enjoyed every moment of it, especially we like to see the faces of the recipients. When we deliver the meals to them, they look forward to us and a chat, and we'll always like to chat with them.
We talk about community often on this show and how when we volunteer or we participate, we feel that much more involved and a part of our community. When I say community and Oakville Meals on Wheels together, what does that sense give to you? How does that make you feel?
Togetherness, yes.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
community.
And if you were to talk with somebody, a friend, let's say, and say, here's why you should either receive the meals or you should volunteer with Oakville Meals on Wheels, what would your pitch be to them, Dixon?
For them, I'd say it's gratifying every moment of it. You meet the nicest people, and they enjoy seeing you every day.
And why should people receive the meals if they need that extra bit of help with meals? Why should they come to Oakville Meals on Wheels?
I guess it's the community effort for all, and the smiles you get from each of them, yes.
Social connectivity and more than 1 million meals over 46 years. That's what Oakville Meals on Wheels is doing for our community. For Community Cultures, I'm Kimberly Calderbank.